Get up in the morning slaving for bread, sir, so that every mouth can be fed. Oh, me Israelites,
I'm here with Dominique, who is the head curator, the senior curator over for this exhibition at Tate Britain.
Hurvin Anderson is a painter who has been working on British and Jamaican landscapes over many decades. He also works with figures and still life, so the cornerstones of the landscape painting tradition, or the painting tradition, with a very contemporary lens. So he's really exploring the Atlantic world and black life across, particularly between Britain and the Caribbean diaspora here and Jamaica, where his family were from. We're standing in front of this epic work, which is nearly 10 metres wide, which really explores many of those themes. It was created last year, has never before been seen in the UK, so this is a first, and it's also emblematic of what he does in his practice, which is return again and again and again to the same theme. So even within a year of making this, he returned to it and repainted certain parts, added details. So you end up with this very rich and unusually narrative kind of work.
What sort of mood do you think that he captures, or is there like a mood or a journey throughout the exhibition?
Well, I think there's a broad spectrum of emotion and mood that you find. Often it's just sublime beauty that you're stepping into, sunlight bursting through palm trees. But sometimes it's something darker, more melancholy, very different kinds of tones that appear in colour, but also in emotion. There are personal details occasionally, but he's really talking about a universal experience. Any of us can connect to the idea of dislocation in some way, but it's also specific to a community. My first instinct was that we really needed to show the breadth of his practice. People in the UK are probably most familiar with his barbershop paintings. They have been shown at Tate Britain before. He was nominated for the Turner Prize, but I really wanted people to see the breadth and be immersed in these absolutely breathtaking landscapes. And the way that he works, the way that he loops back in time, dissatisfied in some way with a particular moment. We really hung the show together. So we had a design in mind how we wanted it to be. So for example, this we decided on the position.
You knew you were going to walk
yes,
down.
it was. Yes. We knew that you were going to see it as you enter the show, or glimpse it as you enter the show. But then we also allowed for that mood that I talked about earlier to kind of dictate how we grouped things in other parts of the show. So he was very present, which isn't always true. So he was very present in the hang and was also completing some of the new paintings while we were working. So we set up a studio elsewhere and were kind of moving between him finishing work and also us hanging the show. So it's it's been a very live conversation. There was a surprise. I knew how he worked and what he was like to work with, and it's been a very positive experience. But the surprise was that he created 5 new works, as well as revisiting this work here for the show, and so I didn't even see those until they arrived at Tate.
Do you have a painting or a piece specifically that you keep going back to?
There's a very personal connection in one important part of the show. Hurvin did a residency in Port of Spain in Trinidad in 2002, and my family are from Port of Spain. So he's painted these places which are very special to me and my family, and it's been interesting to be two members of the Caribbean diaspora who are working on this show together. Yeah. And that's perhaps a new and unusual dynamic in an institution such as Tate. And I think there will be a whole gamut of emotion that people will go through, because that is how the show moves. Sometimes the work is very quiet At other times it's incredibly dramatic. So I think they will have been on a journey, perhaps, and I hope also feel joy. It's they're very uplifting in their beauty.